Are you ready for some great meal ideas? Well, come along with me while we go through this week's What's for Dinner. Great, easy, simple recipes for weeknight meals. Hello, family and friends. I'm Susan, and welcome to my home. And on this week's menu, we're going to have Sloppy Joe cheesy rice bake, spicy Chipotle chicken burritos, slow cooker potato soup, and egg roll in a bowl. Hey everybody, it's Monday night, and tonight we're going to be doing a new recipe, a Sloppy Joe sour cream rice bake. It looks fairly simple. I'm going to make it even simpler because you know me. And it looks like it should be really good. So let me get this hair put up in my ponytail and let's get to cooking. Sloppy Joe sour cream rice bake. Can't talk today. It does call for a few different things. I'm going to make it even easier with a thing of boiled manwich. That way I don't have to worry about the Sloppy Joe packet or the tomato sauce. I've got it all in this. I've got my 1 pound of hamburger ready to go. I've got me some cheddar cheese, some cottage cheese, sour cream, and I'm about to make 3 cups of rice in the Instant Pot. And that's pretty much all you need. Let's get to cooking up this hamburger and get it all assembled. I've got the Sloppy Joe mix already made. Now I'm going to get the rice mixture together. It calls for 3 cups of rice. I kind of made a little more than 3 cups. Not quite 4, but still. I'll go ahead and pop them in there. It calls for 1 cup of cottage cheese. I'm going to go ahead and put that in there also. And 1 cup of sour cream. And y'all know my trick for keeping stuff in containers like this fresher, longer. I mean, we're talking weeks longer. Turn it on its top. It absolutely seals any air from getting in. And this could stay fresher for weeks after the expiration date. Trust me. Been doing it for years. And that's the way they always are in my refrigerator. Now that I've got all this together, the rice is nice and hot. It just came out of the Instant Pot. Ooh, and it's steaming. I don't know if you can see it. I'm sure you can. I'm going to go ahead and mix all of this together. And it is good and mixed. I'm going to go ahead and spray my pan that I'm going to be using. I'm just using some canola oil spray. Get that done real quick. I'm going to go ahead and start layering the dish. First layer is going to be the rice and cottage cheese and sour cream mixture. And this is a 9x9 pan, or dish, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and spread it out around the sides. Probably could have used a little bit bigger, or made a little less rice, one or the other. The next thing, I'm going to be pouring on the Sloppy Joe mixture. I'll go ahead and spread this all around on top, trying not to totally show any of the rice. Now I'm going to put the sharp cheddar on it. This is fancy shredded sharp cheddar, and I don't have a whole lot. It calls for 1.5 cups, so I'm going to go ahead and put all this on there because that's probably right about right. Or, well, let's see. We'll see how good this looks. And I'm going to go ahead and spread it out a little bit. There we go. Now, I'm going to put this in the oven at 350 for 20 to 25 minutes, and we'll see what it looks like when it comes out. Here is what it looks like. And let me dig into it and get some on the plate. And here we go. The Sloppy Joe sour cream bake. And let me get Danny his, and let me get some and let you know how it tastes. Okay, let me cool it off a little bit with blow it off a little bit and see what I think. It is a little bit unusual, but it's not bad. It's just different. When you're thinking Sloppy Joe, you're thinking sandwich. But instead of the bread, you got the rice. This is definitely a great gluten-free option. So, here it is. Sloppy Joe bake. It's what's for supper Monday night. And it's Tuesday night. And we're going to have some spicy Chipotle chicken burritos and some elote, the street corn off the cob. Two of our favorite things to eat on Taco Tuesday. Not a taco, but so good anyway. My ponytail is already up. Let's get to cooking. Okay, let's get going on the spicy chicken Chipotle burritos. I've got some cumin, some chili powder, some garlic powder, paprika, and oregano, and of course some cheese for the chicken wrap. I'm going to be making the spicy sauce with some mayonnaise, some chipotle peppers, and some lime juice. The Mexican street corn is going to be the Mexican style corn, the adobo, and a little bit of chili powder, and maybe a dab of the lime juice in it too. Let me go ahead and get the spices on the chicken breast. I'm going to put some cumin on each of the chicken breast and smother them around. I'm going to put some chili powder. That's a little bit of much chili powder, but that's okay. And a little bit of garlic powder. A dab of paprika, which I am going to put in my hand. And then, all right. Now I need to get a little bit of the oregano. And you know me, I've got the homemade oregano. I mean the homegrown oregano. I'll go ahead and put some of that on each. Okay, and let me flip each one over real quick. And let's do the other side, the exact same. Okay, and this is ready to go in the pan. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of olive oil in here. And I just happen to have some Goya extra virgin olive oil. Just a little bit. Don't need a lot. Just need to make sure it doesn't stick. I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken breast in there. It says to cook on about 6 to 8 minutes on each side, which should be about right. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in there and let them start cooking while I make the elote off the cob. And I am going to go ahead and put the Mexican style corn in the pot, along with a little bit of chili powder and a little bit of red top adobo. And I'm going to go ahead and let this cook up a little bit. Let me add just a dab of water in it so it don't burn on the bottom. And I'm going to go ahead and let this cook just a little bit, and then I'll add the mayonnaise and a little bit of lime juice. And you can add cotija cheese to this if you want to, and that is truly how the real street corn is made. But I like to save my cotija cheese for the actual street corn because you have to have it on it. It just is not the same without it. So let me go ahead and let this cook up a little bit, and then I'll bring you back to show you how I make the Chipotle sauce. And I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of Duke's mayonnaise, of course. Y'all know that's all I use. Put a couple drops of lime juice in it. And Chipotles in the can. I'm just going to go ahead and get a little bit. I don't know if you can see me. I'm just going to get some of the juice off the top because this stuff is spicy and I don't want to put the spices in there. It says you can chop them up and put them in there. I don't need it that spicy. And what I do is put just a little bit of the juices in here, and then I taste it. That's pretty good. I could use just a little bit more of that. I dab more of this. And I'm going to put a little bit of adobo in there. Because, you know, it makes everything better. All right. And basically, you just mix it the way that you like it. Make it as spicy as you like it. Oh, now that is good. Okay. That is a go. That's what the chicken looks like. It says to do 6 to 8 minutes on each side. And I've probably done a good 6 on one, a good 8 on the other. Let me go ahead and cut one of the thickest breasts in the middle. I don't always get my meat thermometer out. I just use the cut method. And see, this one needs a little bit more cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it on the oven for another minute or so. And then we'll check and see how it's looking after that. Before we make the burritos, let me go ahead and add some of this, the Mexican mayonnaise. About a tablespoon is what I'm going to do. I'm going to stir it in to the corn. There's just something about this that makes it have a creamy taste. It just gives it a different kind of taste. I can't explain it. It is just very, very good. And I'm also going to add a couple drops of the lemon juice. Here we go. So we have everything mixed in. I might just go ahead and add a little bit more adobo, because you know, can't have too much adobo. All right. And there we go. And I'm going to let this just simmer for a little bit while I finish making the burritos. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put a large tortilla shell down. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this down on it, right in the middle, because that's where all of it's going to be deposited. And then I'm going to roll it up. I'm going to get one piece of the chicken and just basically cut it up. Y'all know me and my kitchen shears. I love my kitchen shears. And I'm just basically going to cut these pieces. And that looks pretty good. That's a good little bit of chicken there. I'm going to go ahead and add the cheese on it in the middle, so it can get nice and melted up. Now, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing that good or not. I think you can. I'm going to roll it up like this, and then I'm going to take this side and pull it this way, and this side and pull it this way. And now it's time to go to the pan and heating the pan on medium. And now the first thing you want to do is put it with the open side down so it can get a sear on it, and then make another burrito just like it. Burrito. I'm going to go ahead and cut the burrito. There we go. And now let me get some corn. And here's some of the elote off the cob. You're talking about good. This stuff's good. Have a funny feeling Danny will be back in here later to get more. And here's what's for dinner. Tuesday night, spicy Chipotle wraps, chicken wraps, and some elote off the corn. And it's Wednesday morning, and I'm going to go ahead and put the ingredients in here for some crock pot potato soup. I'm going to put in some hash browns. I have a 30-ounce bag, frozen. I'm just going to put those in the crock pot. I'm going to add 3 cups of chicken broth and a can of creamy chicken soup. Now, because these are frozen, whenever they defrost, they will create some more fluid in this. Go ahead and stir that around just a little bit. It does call for bell pepper and a couple other things that I'm not going to put in here. I am going to add in the onion though. It's one good thing about prepping on Sunday. That way I kind of know what I'm going to need for the rest of the week. There you go, onion. Alright, stir this up a little bit better. Add some salt and pepper. And then it's ready to cook while I'm at work. That's all we need. Put the top on, turn it on low, and let it cook. It says 6 hours. It's going to be more toward 8 hours, but that's okay. That'll just mean the potatoes will get nice and mushy. But I'll see you back after I get back from work. It's Wednesday night, and I put some frozen hash browns in the crock pot along with some onion and some chicken broth this morning. And now it's time to put the rest of the ingredients in and for Danny and I to have a good crock pot potato soup. My ponytail is already up. Let's get to cooking. And I'm going to add 4 ounces of cream cheese into the soup real quick. And it just needs to melt down is all it needs. The hash brown potatoes don't go completely as watery as most potato soups, but that's okay. It does give it a little bite. And then basically I am going to stir it in and then give it about 10 minutes and it should be good and melted in and time to eat some potato soup. So let me bring you back whenever we're plating. And I'm going to go ahead and use an immersion blender to blend this up a little better because it is kind of applesaucey to some degree. So I'm going to go ahead and immersion blend it to get it a little bit smoother. All right. And now that is silky smooth looking. That's more like potato soup we're used to. The crock-pot version is just a little bit different than my homemade. I made that quite a few videos ago, but this is a lot easier than that. So let me get that plated up. Here we go. Let me go ahead and put a little bit of cheese on that. And it's got plenty of cream cheese inside of it. Put some crackers on this for Danny. And potato soup. It's what's for supper. Wednesday night. And it's Thursday night. And it's time for egg roll in a bowl. So, real simple recipe, just a few ingredients, and it comes together really quick. So let me get this ponytail up and let's get to cooking. Okay, let's get going on egg roll in a bowl. I got some meatloaf mix, and you know it was on sale. I've got some minced garlic, some ginger, half a head of cabbage that's cut up, half of an onion, some sesame oil, liquid aminos, and some chicken base. So let's get going on making the egg roll in a bowl. Go ahead and put in the cabbage. I'm going to make sure that I separate them up really good. And I'm going to put in the onion. Again, going to make sure that I separate them up really good. There we go. Let me stir this up just a minute. Then I'm going to go ahead and add the sesame oil, which is 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. And I do like a little extra in here. It calls for 1/4 cup of liquid aminos. I don't have very much, so I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of it in. 1 clove of garlic, which of course I'm using minced garlic, and that is 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of ginger. And I just like using this kind. It makes it so much easier. It's calling for 1/2 teaspoon of chicken base, which I'm going to put a heaping teaspoon because I love chicken base in this. And now this is ready to be cooked. I'm going to turn it down to about medium. And I am going to mix this all around real quick. And then put a lid on it and let it steam for just a little bit. I think I'll probably cook it about 10 minutes and see where we're at in 10 minutes. It doesn't take long for the cabbage to cook down. So let me cover it and cook for 10 minutes. And here it is, completely cooked up. Egg roll in a bowl. You can cook it longer if you want the cabbage softer, or cook it less if you want it firmer. We kind of like ours in the middle. So, that's for supper. Thursday night. I hope you enjoyed this week's What's for Dinner, and come back again next week for 4 more quick and easy meal ideas that'll help you get food on the table a whole lot easier. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We would love it for you to become part of our channel's family. And until next week, see you then. Don't forget to click that link below and subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. And let our family be a part of your family.